This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino, and we have a 3-hour banger lined up for you today. Tons on Game 3, NBA Finals back in New York at Madison Square Garden. Nick Whaling on the program with his best bets coming up in 30 minutes. Longtime friend of the show, professional sports bettor, season ticket holder to the Knickerbockers for like 4+ decades. Paul Bovey live from the city in 90 minutes with his best bets. And Adam Zadroik, it's here, baby. The World Cup starts this week. We'll get some best bets and preview the event with him coming up back end of today's program. Scale of 1 to 10, Paulie. Your level of excitement for tonight is what?
9.5. I think the game's going to start late. How late is the question, right? It's like you're going to the airport. Fox is ticked off. Going to be at least a 2 hour. You got to get 2 hours early. 4 or 5 blocks are blocked off. Trump's going to be in a suite, not in the front row. That helps everybody out. I know a lot of people are saying he's ruining a bucket list experience. And a lot of people are ticked off with that. But it happened at the U.S. Open when people got there and they missed the first set. Darren Rovell tweeted, get there by at least 7 p.m. Eastern. If you don't, you're going to miss the tip and maybe much of the first quarter. So it's going to be something like we've never witnessed before, right? It's the first time a sitting president is going to the NBA Finals. They haven't won a title since '73. You see how much the tickets are going for. And but we have no watch parties now. That's what hurts.
That's the thing that really confuses me the most. So you're telling me this team that has had to put up with the muck and being bottom feeders and grind through years of just garbage as fans of this organization, and every single time that they would make a mini run, you would see the streets of Manhattan just absolutely filled to the gills with diehard Knicks fans, and they are going to be nowhere to be seen tonight? The whole thing is just throwing my mind for a total loop overall. The fences around Madison Square Garden were up early.
Oh, it's incredible.
Did you see that?
Yeah. It's like, how can everyone fit in that small area?
Yeah, right. So anyway, I totally retract what I said last week where I'd like to be on hand for this game tonight or for Game 4. No chance would I want to be there at this point. It's a total circus the way it seems.
Yes, it does.
Way worse than I anticipated.
Yes. So now could this work against them? Because there's so much pressure on the Knicks tonight, and most fans think it's over. And the Knicks in 4 stuff, they're already chanting
best team of all time. Saw it again over the weekend.
I know. Plenty of that as well. So Tim Bontemps, ESPN, had a great line about Knicks fans have this fear of impending doom. Because most people who are in the arena tonight weren't alive or didn't see the championship. But a lot of bad things have happened to this organization since 1973. It's never happened before that a team's blown the 2-0 lead when they won the first 2 on the road. But it could work against them where the building and the players are tight if the Spurs come out with their hair on fire.
Sure.
And then oh, no. I mean, what if we lose? Then it's like, are we going to blow this? Is this the only chance we're going to get? Could the Celtics trade for Giannis? OKC's going to improve. The Spurs are going to be better. How many chances are we going to get this? How many times are we going to get this opportunity again, right?
Sure.
Just after one loss, which you're not going to panic if you lose, but it's going to be a complete 180 if they happen to lose this tonight and the Spurs come out and save their season.
I mean, can you imagine the level of pressure the Knicks players have been feeling since they got back to the city and in that area? And like last night trying to go to, I mean, how many players in history are going through what they are right now, all things considered, what it means for that entire area of the country? Like, you could argue that nobody. I mean, because 50 years ago, the country was completely different, and the population in that area now is probably growing immeasurably. So, and sports in 2026 is just bigger than it was, back when they won that title before any of us were, any of us here on the show anyway, were even alive. So that could absolutely come out where the Spurs' first quarter would be worth a bet. Now, if they are loose, though, because how tight are they down 0-2, potentially? I think they just got to forget everything that happened in the first 2 games. Remember that they came out and won both first quarters and actually had the lead in both games 1 and 2 with 2 minutes to go and lost both.
Yep.
That's a crusher. So you're right there with this team. The problem is you're down 2 games to none.
Well, on the flip side, what if the Knicks win? Then whatever happens tonight in the atmosphere and crowd is, and even the ticket prices, everything doubles for Game 4, that they can sweep them and eliminate them. And then maybe you could get a bad effort from the Spurs, knowing that we're not going to come back down 3-0. So, I mean, those courtside seats that they auctioned went off for $1 million. Think about this.
Crazy.
Which, that doesn't bother me that much because, there's 12, 13 million people live there, and the Garden only owns 20,000. So, yeah, the common guy's priced out, but it's absolute pandemonium here. It's the perfect storm.
Yeah, and what do we make of the market now? At most spots, I'm looking at national legal sports books right now, and the Knicks are down to a 1.5-point favorite. The total is 216.5 after both games stayed under the total, and they went to San Antonio and won both outright as a 4.5 and a 6.5 point dog in games 1 and 2.
How do you feel? Yeah, because everything we talked about was they're going to lose on Friday. Well, how can you say that? They've won 12 in a row, and now they tie the record for the second longest playoff winning streak. It's just like, how could they be getting 6.5? It doesn't make any sense. Why are they only 1.5 tonight? This is a historic run, what they're doing. 13 in a row and 12 and 1 ATS.
Sure. I mean, both ways to look at it here. One would be that the run that they're on is unparalleled, and that, they've won the first 2 games by going on the road as kind of big dogs and taking them both down. And now money on the Spurs here yet again in this game. But I think the pressure here obviously plays into that quite a bit. But 1.5 right now with the team. Here's how I think it's going to go. I think the Spurs, as someone who's holding Knicks to sweep around 11-1, I think the Spurs win tonight or Game 4, then take Game 5 to make it 3-game.
Come on.
Yeah, and then they'll go back to Madison Square Garden and the Knicks take it in 6.
Oh, man.
That was my original prediction, and I'm sticking by it, Paulie.
Well, I got to see. Wemby has to bring it early on. And he's taken a lot of abuse. I think some of it's unfair. This just happens when you're 22 years old.
Right.
I don't understand only 4 shots in the first half. But certainly, is this going to continue with Towns? And he's got to be the MVP. And I think plus 185 is still a good bet because everyone you talk to who has a vote who follows the sport says Towns is the MVP. But still in foul trouble with ridiculous calls, they still win and they still played well. But it's not like Wemby's been terrible. He had 29 and 9 in the last game. But it just goes back to the level of energy, the fatigue, and are you coming out and attacking early and not settling? And the 2-for-1 shot was ridiculous. Johnson not taking the timeout, taking too many threes.
The entire end of Game 2 was just despicable. Everybody gets blamed there for the Spurs.
Yeah, bad shot selection, all of it.
Horrible.
But a good look at the end. But I wouldn't be surprised if he atones for the mistake and comes out with a big game. But he's got to get going early and can't be passive. And he's also got to get down, and Johnson has to do a better job drawing stuff up for him and especially getting him on the block where he can attack in the paint and maybe get Towns in foul trouble again. But the comeback also is the Knicks haven't played that way. I mean, the Knicks almost gave that game away. I mean, that's in the bag. They're up 14 with 5 minutes. That shouldn't have happened. And you still have a 2-0 lead, and Brunson hasn't shot the ball well either.
I think the Spurs' first quarter might be worth a bet tonight. I mean, they were minus 160 or higher in Game 2. They have won the first quarter in both of these games, and they are awesome. They average almost 32 points in the first quarter, and so that's the best, actually, they've overtaken the Knicks. And I think, again, tie that into how tight the Knicks might be in this spot. I don't mind that bet whatsoever. I was going to say, how about that they have a guy on the team who was part of a team in the finals that blew a 2-0 lead. Sure.
With Bridges. That's huge.
And he's saying all the right things, and he talked about it now leading into this game tonight about not taking the 2-0 series lead for granted.
Yeah, I just remember just losing 4 straight. That's what I remember out of that. And they all know too, and they all understand as well, just know that, the series far from over and got to keep being, playing desperate and be the more desperate team. But we do a great job, and we understand that, after every game, no matter what, it's always 0-0 at the end of the day.
Up 2-0 with the Suns against the Bucks and Giannis back in 2021. Weren't they mocking Milwaukee?
Blew it.
Yeah, I think they were laughing at Milwaukee when they were up 2-0, thought it was over with.
Well, maybe you're right, too, because it's only happened 3 times now, And not when it happened in '93, the Bulls win. That series was crazy. The road team won 5 of the 6 games. And in the same situation, the Suns stole Game 3 in Chicago in triple overtime.
And they were an 8-point dog in that game.
Well, Jordan drops 55 in the next game. Then that's when it was 2-3-2. They couldn't close them out.
No.
They lost another home game.
Yeah.
And then they had to close them out in Phoenix in Game 6. So maybe they sweep them and it's no problem. But it just feels like something weird's going to happen. And this could get interesting based on what we've seen and the fact that the Spurs are going to give them their best shot tonight.
What are your best bets on the game?
Got to go. Bridges is on an incredible run. Remember when the season started, the shot, he messed up his elbow and his shot, and we were mocking him.
He had to tweak his form, basically, is what he had to do.
He is on a 10-1 overrun when he's 12 points, and he's minus $2 to score 12 points, but it's gone up because he's played so well. 10 of the last 11, he's scored at least 12 points. Towns is 12-2 to the over 3.5 assists, and I got to come back with Hart points under. He didn't even score in game 2.
No.
So he only took 4 shots. I think Hart under points again.
I used a boost today, so small bet, but Hart to get to almost 17-1 to lead in rebounds for the series. He's 4 back, and he is certainly capable. Stay out of foul trouble, buddy. Much like Karl Anthony Towns, but he can go out there and grab 15 again tonight. You never know. Wemby might have a game with 8, and then he's right back into this thing. And I got down a little bit. Our buddy Mike Montesano put this out on X. Now, the number moved. I think he was responsible for moving the number. Shamet was 14-1 at DK to lead the series in threes. He's back by 1. I got a little bit on 10-1 on him.
I see both sides. Coming off the bench, it's going to be difficult, but that's a good number when you're only 1 back.
Sure.
Maybe you get a blowout, too.
Madness in New York, same time as the best Cup final matchup through 3 games that you could ever hope for. Does Hurricanes coach Rod Brindamore have the onions to make this move? We'll discuss next.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network. Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Now, the Stanley Cup takes, well, they get an extra day off, actually. So kind of a break in between games 3 and 4 tomorrow night out here in Las Vegas. If ever two teams have needed the kind of break, I think the way that this series is unraveling right now, unfolding, I think it would be these two teams. I mean, it's on pace to be the best Stanley Cup final I can ever remember. That's how good it is. No hyperbole. Pierre LeBrun tweeted this out after Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Theodore wins it in double overtime. His 25th Stanley Cup final. He cannot remember a crazier opening 3 games in the NHL's championship series. Absolutely insane. He's right.
Yep.
I mean, I guess my biggest betting takeaway would be this. And will it continue? Who knows? But whenever one of the teams gets out to a lead, and it might be a couple of goals, why not come back and play the other team that's trailing at plus money? It's almost like a tennis match between these two teams so far. Nothing is out of bounds here.
Yeah.
I mean, if Marner puts the game, if he makes that on the penalty shot, 5-0, it's probably over at that point. But
Yes,
I would have said at 4-0 the game was over with, and it wasn't. And oh, by the way, in that game, it was 4-3 Golden Knights. A little bit more than 3 minutes to play in the game, and they just picked up a penalty to go put the Hurricanes on the power play. The Hurricanes were still almost 4-1 to win the game.
It got as high as 70-1. It seems that was way short. I mean, how they were dominating. It's 4-0 in the third period, and then the record 3 goals in 39 seconds. I don't know why it takes them so long to get going. And much like Game 2. But you also had the 2 goals disallowed. That would have been an all-time choke job if Vegas had lost that game, and I feel terrible for Bussy that he was so... Kid hadn't played since April 14th, and he was a brick wall. And then they get the fluke goal with the bad bounce and 2 own goals. How about that?
I know.
2 disallowed and 2 own goals for Carolina.
Game had absolutely everything.
It did. So now it's their season pretty much on the line tomorrow. Going to be hard to overcome a 3-1 series lead. But like Oshie said on the postgame, that they hung Anderson out to dry. And they finally got that shot, what they needed, and it turned everything around and woke them up once Brindamore made the goalie change. And sometimes that works. But most people don't expect it to happen. I think you have to make a goalie change to wake the team up. And a lot of the goals have been breakaways and not his fault, and the ridiculous own goal as well. But I think you have to put Bussy in there because he was so great down the stretch and how well he played in Game 3.
So you're positive about that because... And you're not being negative here towards Anderson at all.
No, it's not his fault. I agree with Oshie. They hung him out to dry.
Sure. And you were, to go back to like before the series started, after Game 1, after Game 2, you were strong. You were adamant about this. You kind of went back and forth a little bit with Jonathan Davis with this last week. You're like, no, absolutely do not be too harsh here on Anderson. Guy's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So not his fault.
No, absolutely. But I just think if they're going to give him that lift and boost and how they turned the things around when he came right in, I certainly didn't expect him to play like that either. That's unbelievable. To be out that time and there's no rust and the guy's awesome.
Right.
And he hadn't been out there since April 14th. So full marks to him. And but you can't come out falling behind 2-0, 4-0 and how bad they've played. So, but if Vegas lost that game, then everything completely flips then.
No doubt.
But I didn't expect it to be this high scoring. But then it just, what a weird game. Two of the periods were scoreless. Mm-hmm. We had nothing. And
I thought my 0-0 tie in regulation was in play. And,
right.
it was for 30-plus minutes.
Yeah, right. That's probably the way to attack it as well because they're getting off to slow starts, and then here comes the barrage of goals.
Yeah, Marner, natural hat stick trick, fastest in Stanley Cup final history. 3 Carolina goals in 39 seconds, fastest in Stanley Cup final history. I mentioned the penalty shot that was stopped that would have made it 5-0. It's just, again, the 2 own goals that you talked about, the 2 disallowed goals as well. And Marner is now a heavier favorite to win the Conn Smythe than the Golden Knights are to win the Cup final. And I would agree with that. And I actually think that we could be getting Connor McDavid all over again. Because who jumps off the page for you for the Hurricanes? I don't know who that player would be.
Yeah.
And after this guy had the natural hat trick in Game 3 to add to his ultra-impressive run here in the playoffs, I think that they could lose the series right now. And unless somebody goes absolutely crazy for Carolina, I think almost Marner has to be the guy. to win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, that sucked for props, too. If he had props under, it was ridiculous. I was so mad. I had Hart saves under. I had Svechnikov shots on goal under. Double overtime. Come on.
Double overtime got you.
Yeah.
What do you think the ladder paid on Marner? Got all the way to 10 shots on goal, by the way.
Oh,
10?
Wow. Yeah, you might have something there. He got his high as 250 while the game was going on. 2 101 shots cashed. Marner hat trick. Theodore to score in overtime. And for the second time, both teams 4+ goals, and Alt over 8.5 gets there. It's nuts.
Well, I bet the first 2 games under, they were both losers. Game 2, 2-0 with 10 minutes to go, goes over with 7 in overtime. I did not play Game 3 under. Game 4, is there any point to make a case here to go under 6? I mean, it might be scoreless again in the second period, and they could explode for 6 combined again.
You concerned about Hart?
I think you have to be a little bit.
Yeah, that's where you got to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how you're not, actually.
Just sticking your leg out and putting your pad out isn't enough. It's almost like it was lazy goaltending on some of those. And I don't see how he didn't see the puck right in front of him on the goal that tied it as well, that he didn't cover it up or poke it out of there.
I would say for those who are ripping Anderson for his performance through 3 games, they absolutely must be saying the same thing about Carter Hart. It has been far from impressive. I mean, 3 goals in 39 seconds, Paulie.
Those weren't difficult saves. No,
they were not.
Anderson should have had the Marner when he came down on a breakaway semi one-on-one with the slap shot. He could have had that one. But the own goal and then the breakaways, there's nothing you can do. Now it's the Stanley Cup final. You've been unbelievable. You got to make one of them. I need to make a couple of them, but he hasn't been able to stop much of the breakaways. So, but you can't have the defensive breakdowns, but also you got to come up big and help your teammates out once in a while and stop some of those breakaways.
I tell you, the one way that I would like the under 6 is if Bussey is in fact named the starting goaltender. If he's not, I can't really make a case that under 6 is a good bet if Anderson's plugged back in there. I just can't, the way that these games have unfolded. I mean, the outlier right now would be my 0-0 bet that I made the case for before the series started. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the 2 disallowed goals still, but it's nothing with not that much time on the clock. And I just like, oh man, this is bedlam.
Yeah. It's when you talk and compare it to all-time great series, I don't know if it gets there. Just because it's 2 of the games, there's been not much happening for 2 periods or big leads. Like I shut it off and wait a second, now it's 4-2. This is going to get interesting. Then you put it on, and there's another goal.
Well,
because it looks like 2 of the games, you think it was over, and Vegas had it in the bag.
If it plays out like this and goes 7 games, I think it has to go down as the best we've ever seen. Just because of the crazy comebacks, the high-scoring nature of the games, the overall dramatics of it. I asked the question on X, and I wasn't saying that this year's the best at all. I was not implying that. But I was just asking the question, like, what was the best year we ever had for an NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Final going on concurrently? 1994 was the most common response.
That's what I sent in.
Yeah, you had Knicks and Rangers going on same time, both years, and the OJ Chase, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of people said 2013. That was Spurs Heat, Game 6, Ray Allen.
Yeah.
And the Blackhawks came back, scored 2 or 3 goals late to beat the Bruins, and they beat them in 6 games. For some reason, I can't remember that series.
I don't either. Not bad. That's the other thing what Knick fans are worried about, too. In 94, the Rangers led Vancouver 3-1.
Yeah.
Everyone thought they'd close them out at home.
That's right.
Lost Game 5. Lost Game 6. Had to go 7. So, again, it's that fear of impending doom, right?
Sure.
And that was, everyone just thinks
it's not over till it's over.
No. Absolutely. Good. 94 stuck out to me, though, because they're Starks.
Yeah.
Both series go 7. Those were phenomenal.
And the ultimate wild card is the OJ Chase. I mean, you can't trump that. How do you possibly?
Yes. Left the game. NBC left the game. Poor Costas. What a tough situation he was in. World Cup just days away. Don't miss your chance. You could win $1 million. Entries close Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Splash Sports offering $1 million guaranteed. High-stakes Survivor contest. 1,000 to enter. $1 million on the line. You can only use a team once. Pick wisely from the group stage all the way through the knockout round. Outlast everyone. The money's yours. New players use code VSiN. Get a 50% deposit match up to $100. A free quick picks entry up to $20. and you get a 100% quick picks payout boost on an entry up to $20. Entries close Thursday, June 11th, 3 p.m. Don't wait. SplashSports.com/VSiN. Code VSiN. Got to be 21. Available in select states. SplashSports.com/VSiN. Code VSiN. Incredible Survivor contests. Good luck getting that.
Absolutely. You have to take time to check it out. Get your friends involved as well. Team up if you want to with some buddies and network with them getting involved in that contest. Up next, player props, point spread, total, series markets, a Wembanyama prop as well, maybe a little MVP talk. Nick Whalen on the program to go over Game 3 and the series itself in the NBA next. On Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime.
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
And more best bets. Game 3 tonight, NBA Finals. We go out to the Progressive guest line. Nick Whalen, kind enough to join the program from RotoWire, does a great job Monday through Friday with Jeff Erickson here on VSiN. They host a show called Prop Points, and it's at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, Nick, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing great, guys. Doing great. It felt like we should have had a finals game last night, but the wait was worth it. Very excited to get back to it tonight.
Yep, totally agree. Okay, so here we go. Game 3 tonight. Money on the Spurs, by the way. Nick's on to 1.5-point favorites. Total 216.5. You do have a prop that you like involving Victor Wembanyama. What is it?
It's one that I've been playing for multiple games throughout these playoffs. It is the over 1.5 steals for Victor Wembanyama, which is, of course, not typically what you would think of with a guy like him who's known for his shot blocking, but he's gone over this number in 4 of his last 6 games. He has at least 1 steal now in 9 consecutive. This cashed in game 2, and we haven't really seen much of an adjustment in the price. I mean, this is more about the value to me. I saw this as long as plus 178 at FanDuel earlier today. It was plus 174 at DraftKings when I threw it on the card for our show earlier in the afternoon. So to me, this should be, I don't know, plus 130, plus 140. Again, I think a lot of people probably aren't betting it because everybody wants to run to the points or the rebounds or the blocks for Wembanyama, but he's going to play a ton of minutes. He gets a ton of deflections. He gets his hands on balls around the rim. So that is what I have on the card for Wembanyama.
That is a great look and a good observation. It's hard to find on the apps, and those pay big. Brunson had 5 last game. 3+ was 12-1. Oh, think about that. So Bridges and Towns are playing so well that we're forgetting about what OG's doing. How about OG PRA tonight?
Yeah, that is another one that I played in game 2, guys. We had it at 21.5, just a slight adjustment to 22.5 as the default number across the board. Over 22.5 at minus 104. I will take that. Something that's important to note as we get deeper into the series. There's been a lot of talk of, okay, does Dylan Harper need to play more minutes for the Spurs? If so, where are those minutes coming from? The guy who's been hurt on the Knicks side of things, because they're getting such great contributions, not only from the role guys in the starting lineup, but from their bench players, it's been Josh Hart. He was the guy who saw his minutes slashed in game 2. I'm not really worried about that with Anunoby. I'm not worried about it with McCall Bridges. Those guys, they need the size, they need the length, they need the shooting from both of those two. So I think this could be another spot where we see Anunoby push to at least 37, 38 minutes, maybe 40 plus, depending on game flow. And again, he went over this number in game 2, only took 10 shots, had 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 37 minutes. I think the rebounding is what I would look at and say, okay, he was a 6-7 rebound a game guy earlier in the playoffs. Obviously, it's a difficult opponent in San Antonio, but if this is a spot tonight where we finally see Karl Anthony Towns either take a step back or get into foul trouble, that's where I think we could see Anunoby more involved on the board specifically. So to me, still a very doable number at 22.5.
Yeah, very good. Paulie and I were talking about this already on the show here today, Nick, and that is the leader in the series for most threes. Shamit's one back right now, and he's like 10-1 still at DraftKings. It was 14-1. What do you make of Shamit tonight?
Yeah, there are a couple 3-point props I would look at with the Knicks, including the over 2.5 for Landry Shamet. Put that down at plus 195. Ooh. Last night. He's gone over this number in 4 straight, 6 of the last 7. Now, he is, of course, shooting at an unsustainable level, but we're getting to a point now where this sample is spanning 7 games. It's spanning multiple series. He's 21 of 31 over his last 7. 18 of his 31 looks have been wide open. I mean, despite the Spurs knowing exactly what Landry Shamet wants to do when he's on the court, the Knicks are still finding ways to get him open. So I'm going to keep riding it at that price, almost 2-1 for the over 2.5. You got to lay a lot more if you like the over 1.5, but Shamet continues to be dialed in. I think he's playing with a ton of confidence, and he's on the short list of those role players who you'd think, he's already shooting it great on the road. He'll probably continue to shoot it well at home.
And who's the other guy then that you like tonight for threes made overall?
The other one is Jalen Brunson, guys. He's gone under in crushing fashion in each of the first 2 games. The attempts have been there. The handicap is basically, look, Brunson's not going to be able to get to his same spots. He's going to have to settle for more threes. That's exactly what's happened. And he's gone, I think, 2 for 8 and 2 for 9 in the first 2 games. But look, I think the Spurs are succeeding in turning the New York Knicks into a little bit more of a Brunson-centric offense than they would like. He's taken 56 shots. He has a 39% usage rate through these first 2 games. That is not ideal if you're the New York Knicks, especially when Brunson's shooting it at 33, 34%. If you're the Spurs, I think you're wondering, how is Brunson producing like this, and how are we down 0-2 in the series? But I think that volume should continue, at least from 3. Again, he's not going to be able to get to the rim at the same clip as he was, earlier in these playoffs against inferior defenses.
Sure. So then, based on what you said, like looking at the MVP market overall, he is still the short shot on the board. Brunson is. I think we can all agree that if the vote had to be in tonight and the series was over with, we think that Karl-Anthony Towns would win, and he should probably be like the consensus winner. But you have to forecast like what's going to happen on the court, but also good luck handicapping the voters as well. So what do you think of the overall market at this point, Nick?
Yeah, it's really interesting because this was one of those markets where you had an obvious guy on either side, right? And Wembanyama, despite being down 0-2, is still short of 4-1 to win Finals MVP. So if the Spurs come back, it's obviously going to be him.
Yep.
I'm totally with you. I think if this was a 3-game series and the vote happened after game 2, it might be unanimous in favor of Karl-Anthony Towns, but we still have at least 2 more games. Jalen Brunson has had some huge moments in the clutch, but a lot of these voters are smart. They know Jalen Brunson is not shooting it very efficiently. The volume has been super high in this series. I think the edge for Karl-Anthony Towns, if you do want to bet into that market, is that, one, he's been great offensively. He's been super efficient. He's been better than we expected on that end. And he also has the defensive argument. Like Jalen Brunson, he had some steal numbers in game 2. We all know he's not a plus defender. He's not shutting anybody down on that end. If this series, if the Knicks win it in 4 and Karl-Anthony Towns plays like he did in game 1 and 2, even close to that offensively, and Victor Wembanyama continues to struggle, I think that's the narrative that you have to cling to is, not only is Towns being great offensively, he also is limiting Victor Wembanyama and, has a huge edge defensively as far as his impact in the series.
Totally agree. He's got to get it. And it also helps that on every halftime show, Barkley is pointing out how great he's been, and arguably the 2 best games of his career, right? What a 180 with this guy.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he was terrible.
Well, no question. I mean,
sorry.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's almost a kind of a reverse narrative that we didn't expect to be part of this discussion. And, to be fair, he does have to kind of pry it away from Jalen Brunson, who came into the finals as the incumbent, right? It's his finals MVP to lose, but you could argue with, how inefficient he's been. Maybe he's on the track to doing that. But you're right. I think Towns kind of reversing the narrative on his career, reversing the narrative on the type of player that he is, that absolutely feeds into this as well. Last thing I'll say, guys, on Finals MVP, keep in mind, I believe it's a panel of just 11 voters for this. So you get some inherent variance. You don't have a sample of 200 people voting on this. It can be a little bit dicey from that perspective. But as of right now, I think it has to be Cat.
I would absolutely agree with everything that you just said. What about the point spread now, down to 1.5 at many books? Total still available at 2.6. Some books have moved to 215.5. Others are out there at 216 or 216.5. Both games under so far in the series. Any opinion on side or total?
Yeah, side is really tough for me. I think I'll just end up playing the Knicks if I do take a side. I was on the under in game 1, which ended up coming through. I did not make an official play on the total in game 2. I would be ready to lean over. The pace is actually faster than both of these teams have played throughout the postseason. Now, neither team has shot it well from the field, particularly 2-point range. The Knicks shot it well from 3 in game 2, but I don't think the defense is necessarily going to fall off as we get deeper. San Antonio especially has so many great perimeter defenders, but at the same time, you would expect Brunson to be at least a little more efficient going forward. The Knicks have shot around 41-42% as a team so far in this series. That should improve. San Antonio, Wembanyama specifically, have not been great offensively. So it's a little bit of lazy analysis, but if you like the over, I think the narrative that you're clinging to is, okay, the pace is where we want it to be. These teams are just not converting shots at nearly the rate that we would expect so far.
Yep, very good. Follow Nick on X. He's at Whalen, but it's WHA, the number 1 EN. The 1 is in place of the L, obviously. Does a great job Monday through Friday with Jeff Erickson here on VSiN. Their show is called Prop Points at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Awesome stuff, my man. Thank you. Best of luck tonight.
Same to you guys. Thank you.
Yep. Join us here on the Progressive Guest Line. I think it's right. It's Brunson. It's Cat first. Then it'll come down to what Brunson does. What about if Bridges goes nuts again tonight?
He's got a case.
He's
been awesome.
In one more really good game tonight, he absolutely, you would have to think about the guy.
Defense, they were hunting Brunson down the stretch.
Yes, they were.
That's a big reason why the 14-0 run happened. So he's an excellent player, but what Towns has done containing Wemby, even with the foul trouble in game 2, got to be Towns.
I'll have a lot more on this coming up in the third hour of today's program.
I remember we started the season talking about that and showing videos, how there was something wrong with his shot.
He had a hitch in the giddy-up.
Yeah, right.
Yep. He changed everything.
Yeah. He's been awesome, much like the whole team, since they were down 2-1 against Atlanta.
I think the biggest stretch of the game on Friday night, end of the third quarter, Wemby's on the court, Bridges was on the floor for the Knicks, and not another starter. It was all bench players, and they outscored San Antonio 8-3.
Yes.
That's what I think won them the game. Massive moment there. Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, win some, lose some. This happened for the first time since 1990. And Paulie will tell you about all the huge bombs that cashed over the weekend. Coming up next.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
The action never stops. The props are fantastic. Let's start with Friday night. Knicks plus 190 on the money line. 13 wins in a row. Second longest streak in playoff history. First team to win back-to-back games in the finals, trailing in the last 2 minutes since the 1990 Pistons.
There you go.
I did not remember that. I don't recall that series.
What'd you make of the final 40 seconds?
Castle looks at him, and then he passes it. Once he turns his head, and then he makes it worse with the foul. But why do you give the foul with the stupid foul to give? It was way too early. There's no need to do it. Why didn't Johnson call a timeout? Why is he telling him to push the ball, go, go, go? And the 2-for-1 shot with 30 seconds was ridiculous.
So I must be losing my mind as a basketball fan. The amount of people who called the Wemby looks great looks, I don't even know what language you're speaking.
The last one was fine. The air ball 3?
I don't know.
And the 2-for-1 with 30 seconds?
The air ball 3 was a 0 on a scale from 1 to 10. Yeah. The last shot, that's what... I hated it. I hated the shot.
Yeah, great look.
He's 7'5". Draw something up that's a little bit closer to the rim.
First score, Vassell 8-1.
He's not Steph Curry, by the way.
First basket, method, three-pointer, 19-1. Both teams to score in the first minute, plus 150. 5+ points in the first minute, plus 210. Fox, 20+ points, plus 345. We mentioned this Friday. I know he's 7'4", 7'5". Double-double, no, 3-1. He had 29 and 9. The rebounds aren't there. Not that easy. First three, most threes. Bridges 20-1. Most assists. Bridges 65-1.
Wow.
Bridges 30+ PRA 13-1. 4+ made threes 12-1. Brunson 3+ steals 12-1. He had 5.
Yeah, they stop the ladder sometimes
yes,
when it's
they do.
So high like that.
Vassell 9+ rebounds 10-1. 12+ rebounds and assists 10-1. Ladder man did it again. Swept the board. He's up $2.2 million. He's back again, but he's betting it the same way again.
I know he is, yeah.
He's taking the Knicks plus the points and laddering it that way. And he didn't even have money line in the last game.
No.
I know he's up 2.2, but he could be up $8 million if he's doing it the other way. Game 3 Stanley Cup. Highest scoring Stanley Cup final in 45 years. 3 fastest goals in history. Marner fastest hat trick in history. 100-1 hat trick. Both teams 4+ goals, 8-1. Alt over 8.5, 5-1. Overtime 3-1. Will the game go to double overtime in the series? I think it was 2 or 3-1. I forget. Theodore overtime goal winner 100-1. Hurdle first goal 19-1. 5-4 final 35-1. 4-4 in regulation 27-1. Golf Poston 125-1. MLB Saturday PCA 2 bombs 61-1. Terang 2 home runs 73-1. And the lose sum for the game. A lot of people thought it was ridiculous and a gift. You were right. Spurs 3.5 up to 6.5. Wait a second, I've won 12 in a row. I'm getting this many points. And the over 214.5 up to 217.5. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. At Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. Your buddy sent this in.
Boy, this is going to make the show.
Oh, yeah. He's at the airport waiting for his flight. Got some Popeyes. And he's really doing the Al Bundy. Barefoot, and the left hand is down the pants. Oh, boy.
I think it's an employee. Yeah.
Popeyes?
Oh. Well, okay. Or airport.
Employee. I can't see what his shirt says.
It's orange. So
okay.
I would lean that way.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's...
Will we hit rock bottom here?
No. I tweeted that out, and people were like, no, Mitch, not even close.
Not even close?
Yes.
He's barefoot, and the hands are down the pants? The only topper is if he goes to the bathroom and pulls a... Oh,
I've seen videos that are worse I can't even talk about on the air where you would think it's rock bottom.
Oh, no. Poppy got sloppy. Okay, some dog videos. Excellent. Look at the size of this guy. He's at the vet, and he's saying, no more. That's it. It's over. I got to get out of here. And he's a beast. Look at him.
Oh, my God. They're riding him like Secretariat.
I know. He's that big. but he had enough of going to the vet and said, I've had enough. I'm getting out of here. And the dog starts taking off for the door, and he's huge. I don't know what kind of dog he is. I can't see, but she's holding on for dear life as the guy is going and saying, get me out of here. I've had enough. Have you ever done this, Steve? This is tough. It's a lose some. You're walking your dog, husband, wife, and one goes one direction and you go the other direction and see what the dog does with how confused he is. Like, wait a second. And who do I pick? Does he just stand there and wait? Or went up and went to the guy. As the woman filmed it.
Yeah, this is a home run.
Yeah.
It's 100% that it's going to be me.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, every single time. Yeah.
Good.
But now Sebastian will go till the rain.
Okay. Not bad. You can do it with the kid, too. You're going on a walk and you go in different directions. A moose in Colorado Friday. The total was 12. It was 3-1 in the ninth and went over. Extra inning shenanigans again. All under props game 3. And Hurricanes 70-1 in play. Get beat with an own goal after a great comeback. But they needed double overtime to beat me with the saves and the shots on goal stuff. Oh, that sucked. Sports calendar never stops. Sharp Plays covers it all. All of it documented, logs posted publicly. When they move, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel, respected, watched, and feared. Connected. They reach out to 500 sources worldwide across all sports and send it out to subscribers in real time. Jeff and the crew are fantastic. Start winning with them now. SharpPlays.com.
All right.
Look at those tickets. 100-1, 100-1. 125-1.
I know that this always pops up when you have losers like that in that Brewers game.
Yeah.
Don't you wish there was a way just to bet like in regulation? If they would just make it a 9-inning bet. I'm betting the under in 9 innings. It's like a soccer bet. That's all I want. The overtime stuff, your shots on goal prop potentially just to have in regulation. That's it. No overtime. And you're betting unders, by the way.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, the people that want the refunds when somebody gets hurt, you can bet an under. Well, in this case, you were betting unders, but then it's just like, the part of the handicap that you don't want to happen is, here we go. Yep. Double overtime or 13 innings, whatever it is.
What are you expecting tonight? Could be a top 3 sports atmosphere ever, which would then be topped by Wednesday if they win tonight. Well, but all the pageantry, the president there, no watch parties. The get-in price is crazy. It's always a zoo in the garden. But knowing that they're this close and also the New York sports team drought, too, on top of it, how hungry they are.
I reserve the right here to actually have a strong opinion on this until I see what it looks like. Because now that there's going to be no watch parties, I don't think I can say it's going to be a top 5 environment again. I just maybe inside the arena, well, certainly inside is going to be phenomenal, and you would think it's going to be deafening unless the Spurs can somehow jump them early. But I wanted that outside. I want to see what that's like. I want to see the streets again, packed with millions of people, whatever that number is. And if the Knicks are leading late and overcome a deficit and they come back and they win the game, I want to see the fans go ballistic.
Yep.
In a good way where nobody gets hurt, but that's probably, wishful thinking.
Do you think the Wemby stuff is unfair? Yeah, I mean, because it's happened to all. LeBron was terrible in the 2007 finals. Shaq got swept first time he was there. Tragic Johnson. That was his nickname for a year. He was so bad in the finals.
Right.
I think it was 84. He had to wear that for an entire offseason.
Well, it's always
he's
unfair.
22.
People don't realize that they're basically still kids. The average age again for the Spurs, it's 22 basically. Yes, so I would actually, but that's again part of the reason why I like New York in the series, because I thought that would factor in here. Who knows? We still have maybe plenty of basketball left. I don't know, but he was not great, and you could tell that they were shell shocked in that game the way it looked until they came roaring back from a 14-point deficit.
Great down the stretch, but I just don't know what that was in the first half.
Neither the second quarter particularly.
Yeah, to only take 4 shots.
That's been a pattern so far, is that Spurs first quarter, then the Knicks come out and they blitz them in the second quarter. And maybe that's a betting approach for tonight as well. You're going to be you can bet the second quarter right now, or you could wait till the live number comes up in case the Spurs are leading by 10 again at the end of the first quarter. But I also think that under 216.5 is a pretty decent play tonight. First 2 games under. What about this? The highest scoring half of the game, the first half I saw was $1.50. And so far, so good. because it settles down a little bit more. They become tighter, more defensive-minded in the second half. And I think the pace has been there early in the game, and then
scoring, yes.
The guys get a little tired.
He's down to 450 to win the opening tip tonight. It's been cut in half.
That actually is probably worth a bet then. More on Game 3 coming up tonight. And I'll tell you the biggest problem facing the Knicks, and it might not even be close as we continue on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you're looking for an edge in MLB player props, VSiN delivers with data you can trust. VSiN Pro subscribers now get exclusive access to MLB player prop projections